Joining, we can start off with our introduction part, right? But there's a twist to the introduction. So we are going to introduce ourselves. We'll tell our name, but also we are going to introduce ourselves as an object. Now, this object can be anything which you resonate with, which you feel that your characteristics matches with that object, or the object's characteristics matches with you. Okay, before that, I just want to know, is anyone here who find it difficult to understand English or Hindi? Uh, Everyone is fine with English? Okay, great. Um, okay, so I'll go first with my introduction so that all of you can have an example, right? Okay, my name is Pallavi and I'm an emergency light because my friends turn out to me or reach out to me when they don't see a way in their life. Okay, so we will move on to next person, whoever wants to go first.
will I will go. Hi, I am Itranjan Patel, and I am like a book. I feel because I don't speak much, but I have many words and ideas inside.
Thank you. That's great, Chitranjan. Who wants to go next?
I can go next. Yes. Right now, whatever I can think, I feel I am like a binoculars because I like to observe and I pay attention to the minute details.
Thank you, Gayatri.
Okay, I can go next. So, hi everyone, good evening. My name is Harish Sgaonkar. I'm from Goa, and an object that I would associate with myself would be a paintbrush because I feel that I have a lots of creative ideas in my mind, and I always like to create new things.
That's amazing, Harish. Thank you. Okay, who's next? Sarthak, Aman, Abhinav. Sarthak, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. So actually, I was searching for the object, so that's why. But I have not found it yet. So
It's okay, आप कुछ भी बोल सकते हो जो आपको लगता है थोड़ा बहुत आपसे मैच करता है.
मुझे नहीं आ रहा है. मैं से अपना इंट्रोडक्शन दे दूं.
हाँ हाँ, okay.
ठीक है. तो myself, Sarthak. I am from Himachal Pradesh district, district Kangra, and I am a student.
Okay, thank you, Sarthak. Okay, so Abhinav had message that he's in library, so he can't speak, but I would read his message. So he says he associate with panda because he do stupid and funny stuff like panda. Thank you, Abhinav, for sharing that. Aman, are you there? Okay, I think we don't have Aman here. Vivek, Vivek ji, you there? Okay. I think we don't have Vivek also here. So, okay, guys. So I think we'll move ahead for the next activity. So it's actually a game, and it's a very simple game, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a movie clip where yeah, everyone needs to just guess what emotion is it showing. Okay. Um, Whoever is not speaking can also put their answers on chat. Uh, so yeah, ready? I'll just share my screen. It's visible, right?
Yes,
Yes.
it's visible.
Okay. Okay. So what's the guess here?
Extremely happy.
Excited,
Yes.
excited,
Again, not difficult to guess. Who would like to answer?
and
Satak, are you saying something? I can not hear.
हेलो आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है इफ यू आर स्पीकिंग इट इज नॉट
Okay.
ऑडिबल इन द मीटिंग
Okay. Am I not audible to anyone?
No, I can hear you.
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Aman,
we can
I
also
think
take you.
who was speaking? I can't see the screen. I'm sorry. Like Satak, were you speaking or was it Aman?
Yes. So I was saying that she is
Okay. What's the feeling or emotion here?
angry,
angry.
एंगर या
Yes. Our emotions can be so dramatic, right? I think this can be a little difficult. she feeling now?
I think she is irritated.
Okay. Any more answers?
Disgusted.
Anyone else want to go? Okay. Yeah, that's Harish is right. It's disgust. Okay. Answers?
I think so. I think it's fear.
Okay. Anyone else want to answer? Sarthak, are you saying something? Okay. Yes, it's fear. She's scary. Yes, I think all of us are familiar with the emotions, and even the game was very easy. So, yeah. So I would just like to know if anyone wants to share their understanding about why do we need to understand our emotions, or why do we need to manage them? If anyone would like to share.
Yeah. So I think we need to know our emotion and understand our emotion, because it is if we don't understand, we won't be able to convey those emotions uh, to uh, to to other person. So it is the, I think, basic. Uh, yeah.
Thank you, Aman. Anyone else would like to share? Ji, Harun ji.
Thank you, Pallavi ji, for providing me the opportunity to describe how we can manage our emotions. Emotion help us to understand and regulate our feelings effectively. It help us to recognize and identify our emotion and understand what we are feeling, and what is the first step in managing our emotion. Practicing mindfulness or meditation help us to stay present and reduce our stress. Thank you.
Thank you, Harun जी. कोई और है जो शेयर करना चाहेगा? Okay.
Okay, I will just add. So we need to understand our emotions, because I feel that is the only way we will be able to manage it. That's all.
Thank you, Harish. Ji. So, like Aman, Harish, and Harun ji, करेक्टली मेंशन, इमोशंस को समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि by understanding our emotions and by learning or getting the skills to manage it, it helps us in many different ways. So ये क्या करता है, हमारे स्ट्रेस और एंजाइटी को कंट्रोल में रखने में हेल्प करता है, right? And then it also helps to increase our self-awareness. We know better, like what we feel, when we feel, and the reason of it. And then it also helps in building our self-esteem, क्योंकि जब हम अपने emotions को regulate करना सीखते हैं, so it also support our positive self-talk. Then yeah, so there are a lot more. So all in all, it is very important to understand and manage our emotions, right? Now, the thing is, now we know, like, it is important, and but how do we know what emotion is in action, right? What emotion are we feeling exactly? Because जब हमें जब feel होता है तब तो हमें पता है, but we don't realize if if at all it was that easy to see, like how we saw in the clip, उसमें clearly दिख रहा था कि अच्छा sad है, अच्छा angry है, right? But when it comes to us, it might get little difficult, but still we have a way. There's a way to understand or get insight into our emotions. So for that, we will do an activity first and then we'll understand how. Okay. I hope आप सबके पास कोई paper, notebook कुछ होगा. So I would request कि please sit with your paper or notebook, whatever you have, and have your colors or pen, pencil, जो भी है, have it accessible. Once ready, please give me a thumbs up. So मैं ये भी रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी कि मैं जो अभी बोलूंगी, अगर आप लोग उसको साथ साथ में करते जाए, तो it would help हमें better समझने में इस पूरे प्रोसेस को, right? Okay. So we will start then. Please sit comfortably and take a deep breath. Focus on your paper or notebook. अपना फोकस अपने पेपर की तरफ या अपने नोटबुक पर लाइए और गहरी सांसें लेते लीजिए रहिए. तो हम क्या करने वाले अभी? We will draw a tree, emotion tree, right? Keep taking your breaths, but listen to instructions also. So we will draw a emotion tree, right? So I would request that you draw slowly according to my instructions. And we are going to draw from roots to leaves. So make sure कि आपके पेज में enough space हो कि आप पूरी drawing कर सके. So roots के लिए भी, leaves के लिए भी. So आप उस तरीके से start कीजिए. So we will start now. Start drawing the trunk of the tree first. Start with the trunk. पेड़ के तने को draw कीजिए. Right? Okay. Now, make sure it's a strong and broad trunk. अब थोड़ा सा टाइम लीजिए और सोचिए कि रिसेंटली में आपने क्या इमोशंस एक्सपीरियंस किए हैं. टेक सम टाइम, रिकलेक्ट योर थॉट्स एंड ट्राई टू थिंक कि रिसेंटली व्हाट इमोशंस यू हैव एक्सपीरियंस. These can be sadness, joy, anger, calm, anything. Try not to judge these emotions. आप ये मत सोचिए कि वो इमोशन खराब है या अच्छा है, बस सोचिए कि क्या इमोशंस आपने रिसेंटली फील किए हैं. Now, keeping these emotions in mind, start drawing the branches of the tree, where each branch represent each emotion, like whatever emotion you can list out. For all this emotion, draw one branch. हर इमोशन के लिए आप एक एक ब्रांच ड्रॉ कीजिए. Also, you can label the branches so that it's to clarify like which branch represent which emotion. किसी को अगर कोई इंस्ट्रक्शंस क्लियर नहीं रहता है, आप बीच में पूछ सकते हैं. Now we will move on to the leaves. So for each branch, choose different colors for different leaves so that we can understand that these leaves represent different emotions. So for example, you have a branch of anger, draw leaves. अगर आप पेन या पेंसिल यूज कर रहे हैं, so you can use shading, dark shade, light shade. Also, the color or shading you are choosing, it can be based on how you feel about that emotion. So, आपने जो ब्रांचेस बनाए हैं, जो आपके एक इमोशन को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है, उस ब्रांच से आप उस ब्रांच की लीव्स को बनाइए, पत्तों को बनाइए. और हर ब्रांच की, हर टहनी के पत्तों को बनाने के लिए आप या तो अलग कलर यूज कर सकते हैं, या तो अपने पेन या पेंसिल से उसको डार्क शेडिंग या ना शेडिंग ना भी करे. बस आप ऐसे अपने पत्तों को बनाइए जिससे आपको पता चले कि ये डिफरेंट इमोशन से रिलेट कर रहे हैं, और आप जो भी कलर या शेडिंग यूज कर रहे हैं वो आप इस बेस पे कर सकते हैं कि आप वो इमोशन के बारे में क्या फील करते हैं. सो अगर आपको कोई एक इमोशन ज्यादा फील होता है, उस पे घने पत्ते बनाइए. और अगर कोई इमोशन आपको कम फील होता है कंपेयर टू अदर इमोशन, उस पे कम पत्ते बनाइए. It is completely okay if you are not able to list out all the emotions or think so clearly about the intensity and frequency. Just draw whatever you can recollect or think of right now. अगर आप अभी अपने सारे इमोशंस के बारे में नहीं भी सोच पा रहे हैं, आपको जितना याद आता है आप उस पे बेस करके आप ड्रॉ कीजिए. We'll take a minute here. आप 1 minute ले लीजिए and just ड्रॉ कर लीजिए. Okay. Now we will come to the roots. अब हम पेड़ की जड़ों को बनाएंगे. We are going to draw one root for each branches. हर टहनी के लिए एक एक जड़ बनाएंगे हम. सो अगर आपने अपने पेड़ों की 5 टहनियां बनाई हैं तो पेड़ों के 5 जड़ बनाइए. If your tree have 5 branches, draw 5 roots. Now, try to think what is there in the roots, which is leading to those branches, those emotions. For example, if you have a branch representing anger, the root might have, I'm not able to perform good in presentations, or I'm not able to interact properly in social settings. If you have a branch of sadness, the root might have, I have less friends, I don't have enough support. So try to think what's there in the roots. ये सोचने की कोशिश कीजिए कि आपके पेड़ के जड़ों में ऐसा क्या है जो आपके वो ब्रांचेस, उन टहनियों को ग्रो रिजल्ट कर रहा है. आई एम सॉरी, द हिंदी इज नॉट वेरी गुड. We can take 2 minutes here, and if you are done, you can give me a thumbs up. Can we move ahead? Done? Is everyone done? Okay. So I would like everyone to again sit comfortably. आप अपनी आंखें खुली रख सकते हैं या बंद कर लीजिए. And take deep breaths. Focus on your breathing. Focus how you feel when you breathe in and breathe out. गहरी सांसें लीजिए और अपनी सांसों पर फोकस लाइए. Focus on your chest, how it's moving when you are inhaling and exhaling. अपने चेस्ट पर फोकस कीजिए कि वो कैसे मूव कर रहा है जब आप सांस ले रहे हैं और सांस छोड़ रहे हैं। Now, slowly move your focus to your surrounding. Try to listen to different kind of sounds you can hear. अपना ध्यान अपने आसपास पे लाइए और ध्यान दीजिए कि क्या अलग-अलग तरीके के शोर आपको सुनाई देते हैं। This can be anything, a fan, a traffic noise, animal, TV. एक मेंटल नोट बनाइए आप क्या-क्या चीजें सुन सक रहे हैं। Also try to analyze whether these sounds are coming from far or somewhere nearby. Slowly bring your focus back to your breathing. Focus on the calm you feel when you are breathing in and breathing out. And once you are ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the present moment. Everyone feels okay? You can take a moment, relax, have some water if you want. Okay, so can I request whoever is present right now just to turn on the camera for like a while and show the tree towards the screen with a smile. It's Ranjan, it's blurring out. Aman, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. It looks amazing. All the trees look very amazing. So, yes, Harun ji, आपका tree भी बहुत सुंदर है. Okay. Yes. So anybody would like to share their experience, like what what do you feel about it, and what can you understand about your emotion looking at your tree, the tree you drew? So can anyone share? Kuch bhi. Like you can share anything, whatever you are feeling about the tree you drew, or whatever thoughts came in your mind.
Okay, so I can share one thing about it. So when I was drawing, I wasn't very specific. I mean, I just drew. I wasn't able to experience and feel all those emotions. So uh, uh, just for the sake of activity, I drew.
Okay. Thank you, Aman. Ji Harun ji.
Yes, my emotion tree was a tool to use the understand to categorize my emotion and it was looking like a family tree. The roots shows the fundamental emotions from which all other emotions were growing, and the trunk symbolizes the core emotional experiences that were deriving from the basic emotion, and the branches represent more specific emotion that stem from the core experiences, and the leaves are the more specific and detailed emotions. Thank you.
Thank you, Harunji. That was too detailed. Yes. I think yes, Gayatri.
Yes, so I would want to share my experience and what I could get from my tree. So, firstly, it is very colorful. So, yeah, I think because I am someone who knows how like what I experience, I get to know it because it has been a practice. So it was a bit easier for me to recognize what emotions I have experienced in past 1 week, and I could see that two emotions are very dominating, which is fear and sadness in my tree. And yeah, so also if you look at the roots, I could also understand from where these emotions are rooting. Yes, but still this tree gave me an overview of what I felt in the last week.
Thank you, Gayatri,
Yes.
for sharing. Harunji, you want to share something again? Or was it already raised the hand? Anyone else want to share?
Can I? So for me, this exercise was about looking inwards, because we are so much focused on our outside world that we often fail to look inwards. So this exercise about drawing my tree uh, was it was a process of understanding what I am going through currently, and what emotions are very dominating in my present, and what is the cause. So that is what I learned from this exercise.
Thank you, Harish. And anyone else would like to share? Okay. Um, yes. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your experience. And I think all of us got it right somewhere, like what we were trying to do here. And yes, so when we are talking about our tree of emotion, our aim, uh, and as I mentioned, the leaves, right? Having different colored leaves or different shades of having it in different shades. So our aim here is not to have only one shade of leaf or one color of leaf, right? Dominating other colors of leaves, but it's about bringing that balance, and that is what we call as managing emotions, where we make sure that no one particular emotion is overpowering other emotion, right? Because every emotion is equally important, and it actually symbolize or indicates a need, like how when our body need food, we feel hungry. That's a signal. It's kind of a similar logic. So every emotion indicates a need. Now it's on us how we identify what's the need and what's need to be done. And Harish, like he rightly mentioned, this technique, this activity, um, we did we it helped us to look into our experiences or and analyze it basically. So this is called as reflection technique, right? So reflection technique help us to look into our past experiences, events, and try to analyze those events or our reaction to those events or those experiences. And we can do reflection through journaling. That is one of the way, right? Now, what reflection do is it actually helps us to understand our patterns of emotions, as in what we feel and what might be the reason, why are we exactly feeling it, how often we feel, and what particular emotion is dominating us. So we get a clear picture when we follow these techniques, right? But like Aman said, he was not feeling anything. But just to address that, it is not easy. Eventually, we will reach there. So now, the question is, am I audible? I think my internet is little.
Yeah, you're audible now, but we lost you in between.
Okay. Should I repeat what I was saying, or?
Yeah, that would be better.
Yes.
Okay. So I was basically saying what we did, the activity we did is based on technique of reflection. And reflection is something which allows us to look into our past events and experiences and analyze it. Okay. Now, reflection can be done through journaling. And this helps us to understand our patterns, like what emotion do we feel very often and why do we exactly feel, and then what are we supposed to do, like when we come to the roots, what action is needed from our end so that we can have a more balanced emotions, right? So that is what reflection serves us. Also, now the question is that what do we exactly do when we are feeling the emotion? This was about when what, like understanding our patterns and everything, but what we exactly do when we are actually feeling the emotion, because at that point it gets very difficult to think it through, right? And it gets very difficult to understand the situation. So what do we do at that point of time? There are two steps which we are going to focus on, and it is also going to be our homework, kind of. So first is pausing. Take a pause. Overly feeling anxious or sad, right? So we take a pause. How do we take a pause? We can sprinkle some water on our face, or deep breathing, holding eyes. These are certain techniques. But we can also come up with our own techniques. Now, second step is it's about redirecting your emotion to something productive, which means adapting a response which is more healthier and productive. So, for example, if we are angry, right, instead of arguing with someone or fighting, we can choose to exercise, or we can choose to go for a walk. Or suppose if we are sad, so instead of isolating ourselves completely and sitting alone in a room, we can choose to talk to a friend or family or whoever is close to us, right? Now, one important thing to remember here is when we talk about regulating our emotion, the aim is regulation. and it is not equal to suppression. So we need to also let go of the need to control our emotions, as in we need to accept whatever comes with our emotion. So for example, if we are sad and if we have the urge to cry, we need to cry. Regulating doesn't mean that I will not cry or this sadness should go away, right? So we need to cry and then we go ahead with redirecting. And if we are angry and I feel like screaming, we still need to scream. Maybe not on someone, but yes, we still need to scream it out, right? So this is what regulation means. So yes, this is what we call as managing emotions. Now, one important thing here is yes, Harish.
Yeah. So my question was with regards to anger, the anger emotion. So which I often experience, and my question was, you said that we should often be able to uh, um, control it. Okay. At the same time, we also have the need to express it. But then there are pros and cons of both. So, how do we draw the line? Like, whether we should express or not express? Because expressing also backfires, not expressing also backfires on me.
Okay. So, like how we said, we need to express it. Okay. But we need to express it in a way which is healthier or which is productive. So, for example, I think you enjoy writing, right? You
Yeah.
mentioned. So, so if you're angry, you can turn into writing, turn towards writing and express your anger there.
Hmm.
You might create a piece of art at that point of time. You never know, right? So this is what we call expressing in a more productive way or healthier way. I hope I
Okay.
answered your question. Is
Yes, yes. Thank you.
yeah, okay. Yes, so I think that was about it when we talk about managing emotions. Now, I would just like every one of you to share like what emotion would you like to work on, and I think if you can come up with one way how you are going to redirect it.
Yeah, so I think answer of this question is quite simple. I think it would be only uh, only uh, fear because in many occasions uh, I mean, for only for speaking. I mean, when we have to speak, we have to present. Like if I have to give a job, I have to give job interview. So before the job interview, fear is very common. uh, I start to think in which way I will be speaking. Would should it be a slow, or should I speak in the way I speak, or I should stress the word, or be. I mean, these are the thought process with which I go through, and at the same at the same time, I also want. I mean, I also try to be very confident. I try to listen some strong. I mean, some spiritual uh, thoughts and some spiritual mm, some spiritual mm, music to gain some to gain a, uh, a confidence. Yeah, so that is all I go through when I have to do. So I think it, yeah, I.
Thank you, Aman, for sharing. Yes, Gayatri.
Yes. So you were asking like what is that one emotion that you think you need to work on and redirect it? So for me, one emotion that I think I need to work is on it is anger. Not in terms where I need to control my anger or I need to see how I can express it in a better way. But with me, it is the reverse case. I I am a passive aggressive person. I don't get angry very soon because this is what how I have been conditioned, and which is affecting me as a human being. I don't express my anger out. I suppress it, and in once or twice a year, it will come out in a very, I would say, a very ugly form. So I don't want that to happen. I want that whenever I feel angry, I should be able to express it out instead of suppressing it in me. So this is how I want to work on my anger. And I think how I can redirect it is actually by communicating it in some way. Because most of the time, whenever I get angry, I just suppress it and ignore that emotion completely. Or else, if it is too much, I just keep quiet. I go silent. I don't talk to that person. So, and it stays with me. Then it doesn't go out, or I don't vent out that emotion. So maybe communicating it and venting it out in some way is how I would redirect that emotion. Yes.
Thank you, Gayatri.
Yeah.
Anyone else would like to share?
Yeah, I think it is the same for me also, like how Gayatri said. For me also, I would want to work on my anger and more on expressing it. So as you already answered my question that, I can express it in my writing, which I often do. Okay, but then what happens is many times it stays with me that I should have conveyed it to the other person that that I did not like what he said, or I did not like that situation. It stays on me. Even if I vent it out in my writing, it stays with me, and which affects me in the longer run. So that is what I would like to work on. How well, maybe I would try to see how best I can express it in a better way, with which will not uh, hurt the other person. Like there are ways of communicating anger. Like one is you yell and you're being rude, or another thing is you are trying to convey in a very respectful manner, in which the other person also understands it. So I think that's what I would like to work on.
Thank you, Harish. So, yes, you actually mentioned it very rightly. This is what we are aiming for. So, usually, what happens when we are angry, we cannot think clearly and we end up shouting at people or talking very rudely, right? So, when we say redirecting it, it is a way to get, calm yourself and get that clarity. So redirecting also doesn't mean that you don't address what has to come next, like how you mentioned, right? Maybe when you are angry, you can do your writing, and which you are already doing. But if you feel that something needs to be conveyed, then you should definitely go ahead and convey it, but only when you have that clarity, right? And this is also one part of emotional regulation. It is emotional regulation helps you to be more assertive, which means that it helps you to communicate more clearly about your needs, your boundaries, and whatever you think. So yeah, it basically helps you to communicate it clearly to the other person. Now you can do that efficiently when you are not uh, uh, affected by your emotional state. So to manage that emotional state, we use these techniques. And after that, you can definitely go ahead and address what needs to be addressed. Yes, Gayatri.
Yeah. So adding on to what Pallavi said, when I'm again taking example of anger only. When, for example, if you're experiencing anger and for some people they yell at someone, it is a reaction that comes out in that moment. For example, how a fight or flight situation is there. In that situation, when things are heated up, that is the reaction that comes out where people yell, people also throw things. There are many forms of anger that people express. So that is the immediate reaction. But instead of that, at that moment, if we start practicing how Pallavi mentioned, pausing, just sitting down and calming ourselves, and then at that time, our cognitive processes start working. That okay, this has happened. That other person might also have some he also has a side, right? We get that time to process and then we react, where again we need to confront that person. We need to put our point that whatever you have done, I don't agree with it, or I'm not liking it, but in a civil manner where we are not yelling at that person. So we have to understand that gap between reacting and processing the information and then conveying our message.
That is responding.
Yeah, responding. I was looking for that word.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yes, emotional regulation or managing emotions do help us to respond and not to react. So I hope, Harish, this answer would have helped you better now.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Um, Anyone else want to share here? Okay. Uh, okay, since no one else uh, want to share anything anymore, so let me just sum up the whole thing we discussed, right? So when we talk about understanding emotions and managing them, so there are two major steps to focus on. First is understanding and identifying, right? Now, identifying is what we try to do through the activity. So we try to see what exactly we are feeling. We try to name our emotion, whether it's anger, loneliness, what is it exactly? And then we also try to understand what is causing it, the root cause, right? Here, we also need to keep in mind that it we don't have to judge it. When we are trying to think about our emotions, we don't have to think like, why do I keep feeling sad? Sadness is bad. No, just try to analyze what exactly you are feeling, because remember that every feeling, every emotion is valid. What is not valid is the way we might react to it, right? But emotions are valid, so don't try to judge them. So this is what comes under understanding and identifying, right? Now the next thing is coping. Coping is what we discuss now, right? Like taking a pause and expressing it in healthier way, and in more productive way, and then also letting go the urge to control our emotions and accepting whatever it brings with us, right? If we have the urge to cry, we need to cry. If we need to scream, we need to scream. So whatever it brings, we need to accept it. So this is the gist of it, and now doing this will eventually lead to building emotional resilience. And when we have emotional resilience, it definitely helps us to bounce back from the challenges and keep our positive view intact, right? So with this, I will finish it up, and thank you. If anybody wants to ask any question. No question? Yes, Harun ji.
I want to ask one thing, how s- setting the boundaries help us to manage our emotions.
Okay. So setting boundary is something which we all struggle with. तो उससे क्या होता है? I'm trying to explain with an example. Um, okay, so let's see. Let's say I am an introvert person, and I don't like to go on social setting very often. Okay, but my classmates force me all the time. Even if I'm not feeling it, they would force me or they would tell me कि अरे तुम तो आती ही नहीं हो, like you never have fun, things like that. So now मैं क्या करूंगी, मैं उनके इन्फ्लुएंस में आके मैं चली जाऊंगी, but what will it lead to? Social anxiety. तो मेरे इमोशंस अराउज हो गए कि मैं सोशली एंग्शियस हो गई, बट वहां पे if I would have set the boundary, if I would have told them clearly कि see मैं बहुत ज़्यादा बड़े social setting में comfortable नहीं हूँ, so I can only come with you when you are going for an intimate kind of, meet up or things like that, where only I have my familiar friends and all. I wouldn't have, this is what we call setting the boundary. या फिर कई बारी दोस्त या कोई भी अपने रिलेटिव्स या कोई भी लाइक देम टॉकिंग अबाउट, उनके लिए वो मजाक होता होगा, बट देन हमारे लिए वो हम सेंटिमेंट्स है, या फिर हमारे लिए वो कुछ इमोशनल ट्रिगर करता है. सो वहां पे हैविंग दैट बाउंड्री और टेलिंग देम क्लियरली कि सी आई एम कंफर्टेबल ओनली अप टू दिस मच, इससे आगे आई थिंक यू शुड रिस्पेक्ट or you shouldn't cross this line. So that helps us in keeping that us in emotionally balanced state. Completely avoid करना चाहिए social situation को, but then uh, I will take one step at जगह में, then it might get little difficult for me. Again, it's dysregulation of my emotion. Please somewhere help us to manage our emotion. Was I able to answer that?
Yes. My next question is, what are the signs that I feel that I should seek the professional help for my emotions?
Okay. So अगर आपको लगता है कि आप it can be, actually there can be a lot of things here कि professional help के लिए ना, you don't have to wait until the things are very out of hand. अगर आपको लगता है कि आप constantly सिर्फ दुखी ही फील कर रहे हैं, चाहे आपकी लाइफ में बहुत सारी चीजें हो रही है, बट स्टिल आपको लगता है कि हाँ मैं बस दुखी ही हूँ, मे बी वी आर समवेयर फेलिंग टू अंडरस्टैंड इट कि क्यों दुखी हूँ, कुछ हो नहीं रहा है बट फिर भी मैं दुखी हूँ, कुछ हो भी, एंड नॉट नेसेसरी कि उसके पीछे कुछ रीजन भी होगा, मतलब बायोलॉजिकल रीजन या कुछ डिसऑर्डर ऐसा कुछ होगा, जरूरी नहीं है, बट समटाइम्स वी माइट फेल टू सी थिंग्स द पॉजिटिव एस्पेक्ट, और वो चीजें एक प्रोफेशनल हमें सिखा सकते हैं, तो आप उस केस में भी प्रोफेशनल को रेफर कर सकते हैं. तो जब भी आपको लगता है कि आपकी लाइफ थोड़ी आउट ऑफ हैंड जा रही है, बिकॉज यू डोंट नो कि मुझे बस ऑल टाइम गुस्सा आता रहता है, बट मुझे नहीं पता मुझे क्यों गुस्सा आता है, हर चीज पे गुस्सा आ जाता है, तो वैसे केस में भी आप एक प्रोफेशनल को देख सकते हैं. लाइक यू कैन रीच आउट टू अ प्रोफेशनल. Yeah. Yes, Gayatri, you like to add anything?
Yes. So, adding on to what Pallavi said, firstly, you don't need to wait till that moment कि कुछ गलत हो जाए and then we go and approach uh, a professional. Whenever you feel it is not even like कुछ problem होगा तो ही therapist के पास जाना है या counselor के पास जाना है. On a regular basis, even if you're fine and you just want to express something, you want someone to talk to, even then you can approach a professional. And if specifically you want to know that when is it, ऐसे point पे नहीं बता सकते कि कब है, but still if in terms of emotion, if you're facing a problem and you're able to manage it, then well and good. But when you're not able to manage it and it is starting hindering your daily activities, your day-to-day life, that is the point that you actually need to now go and see the थेरेपिस्ट. ये एक्सट्रीम हो गया, ये लास्ट पॉइंट होगा कि अभी नहीं हो रहा है मेरे से और मेरी लाइफ पे भी डे टू डे एक्टिविटीज पे प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, तो अभी मुझे जाना ही होगा. बट वी डोंट नीड टू वेट टिल दैट टाइम. द डे वी फील कि ओके आई एम फेसिंग दिस, आई नीड टू टॉक अबाउट दिस टू समवन, यू कैन अप्रोच अ काउंसलर और अ थेरेपिस्ट. या
अच्छा,
So
इस मौके पर मैं ये पूछना चाहूँगा कि वो क्या क्या चीज़ें होंगी जो हम एक काउंसलर से डिस्कस करनी चाहिए कि अगर हमें कोई मेंटल प्रॉब्लम है या कोई चीज़ हमें तंग कर रही है, तो वो क्या क्या बातें होंगी जो हमें उससे डिस्कस करनी चाहिए और वो क्या क्या बातें नहीं होनी चाहिए जो हमें उससे डिस्कस नहीं करनी चाहिए.
Harun ji, you are free to discuss everything actually. We won't judge you on anything. You can come for the session and you are free to discuss whatever type of problem it is. Yeah.
So Harun ji, adding to that, counseling sessions जो भी होते हैं completely confidential होते हैं. So there is a reason कि वो क्यों confidential होते हैं. क्योंकि वहाँ पे expect किया जाता है कि आप सब कुछ जितना जो बोलना है सब बोले. और अगर आप नहीं बोलेंगे तो प्रॉब्लम है एक्चुअली. क्योंकि मैंने शायद ये किसी और को भी बोला था कि अगर आप डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं और आप अपनी बीमारी का मतलब पूरा नहीं बताएंगे तो डॉक्टर आपको ऐसे भी गलत दवाई दे देगा. तो सेम वे यहाँ पे सिंस थिंग्स डिपेंड्स ऑन योर पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंसेस, राइट? सो इट इज रिकमेंडेड कि इट इज नीडेड कि आपको वो चीजें शेयर करनी ही है और आप कुछ भी दिल खोल के शेयर कर सकते हैं, कोई जजमेंट नहीं होती है. Thank you, Gayatri. Yes, Harish.
Yeah, thank you. So now that we are talking about going to a therapist and talking about our mental health issues, I just realized that there is a problem about stigma associated with it. Like often people don't want to go to a therapist. One is because they are worried about what others will think, that I am mad or something like that. Second, they feel that the other person, उसको क्या समझ में आएगा, मेरे प्रॉब्लम तो मैं जानता हूँ, ठीक है. So this I am asking this because I have seen this with some people very close and very dear to me. And in that case, how do we manage it? Is it a good idea to nudge a person to go to a therapist, or just let it be and it is up to them? I mean, what I can do as a family member.
Okay. So, Harish, what happens in therapy? There's one thing that we cannot forcefully give counseling to anyone. First of all, जो भी client है या जो जिनको भी challenges है, जिनको therapy लेनी है, there has to be consent from them. So we anyways cannot force them, right? That is first thing. Now coming to the stigma attached to it, I agree, because India में अभी भी this field is flourishing and people have lot of stigma and misconception about it. So I feel as a family member हम क्या कर सकते हैं कि सबसे पहले तो हम बात कर सकते हैं and उनको समझा सकते हैं कि exactly ये है क्या, and फिर उसके बाद आजकल एक्चुअली फॉर्चुनेटली आफ्टर कोविड भी ऑनलाइन थेरेपी के ऑप्शंस बढ़ गए हैं, तो ये हमें एक एडेड एडवांटेज देते हैं। सो हम एज अ फैमिली क्या कर सकते हैं कि जो अनकंफर्टेबल है, राइट, वो अनकंफर्टेबल इसलिए है कि लोगों को पता चल जाएगा, तो व्हाट आई विल डू, सोसाइटी विल से आई एम क्रेजी और समथिंग लाइक दैट। तो वी कैन टेल देम फर्स्ट कि है क्या, एंड देन उसके बाद वी कैन गिव देम द ऑप्शन ऑफ ऑनलाइन थेरेपी फर्स्ट, जहाँ पे दे कैन टेक द थेरेपी फ्रॉम घर से ही। तो उससे क्या होगा, दिल बी लिटिल कंफर्टेबल कि मैं कहीं बाहर नहीं जा रही या जा रहा, तो किसी को पता नहीं चल रहा है। सो वंस दे टेक ऑनलाइन थेरेपी वीडियो पे या जो भी है, उसके बाद मे बी there is a chance, there is a tiny hope कि थोड़ा उनका perspective change हो जाए, and then they'll understand it better. So for now, I think we can just as a family member do that much. So yeah,
Yeah. Thank you, Pallavi.
no problem. Any other question? Okay. Okay, so I just wanted to share a feedback form which I'm not able to do. Gayatri, can you post it on the chat? You are on mute.
No, I was just saying, let me
Or
just check.
you can send it to me if you have the link. I will just post it.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll share it with you, Harish. Maybe you can just share it with the people who attended today's workshop. And we also have self-esteem, like feedback form for self-esteem, but I think that we can share it on the Telegram since there were other people who attended it.
Yes.
Or you can just share this one also in Telegram right after this.
Okay,
Okay.
sure.
We can share
Yeah.
both on the Telegram.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, thank you everyone for attending. And I think with this we can wrap up. And I hope all of you have a nice weekend. And yeah, take care. Good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Pallavi. Good night.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.